Good evening, everyone. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Field for Homecoming 2023 and Week 5 of Season 17 here at Wekiva High School. Please welcome our guests from Lake Brantley High School. They are the Patriots. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with the presentation of colors by the Wekiva High School Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps program. Tonight's detail is under the command of Cadet Second Lieutenant Trinity Eckert, carrying the U.S. flag. Carrying the Air Force flag is Cadet Second Lieutenant Nadia Godoy. Carrying the Florida State flag is Cadet Second Lieutenant Heather Johnson. Carrying the POW-MIA flag is Cadet Second Lieutenant Nada Ramirez. And the Rifle Guards are Cadets Major Kalia Davis, Airman Heather McLean, Lieutenant Dixie Kepler, and Tech Sergeant Chris Jimenez Fraticelli. And now, please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Pride of Wekiva, your Mustang Marching Band. Our thanks once again to the Air Force JROTC, as well as the marching band for their participation in tonight's pregame festivities. Any of them, I don't care. As our team captains take the field for tonight's game, we would like to take this opportunity to thank our officials for the game crew tonight from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. They are referee Rodney Clevenger, umpire Jonathan Stewart, head linesman T. Bright, line judge Antoine Wright, back judge Christopher Newsom, and clock operator Paul Williams. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition. So we welcome you to Mustang Field, where we are getting ready for Homecoming Night 2023. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva High School these last 17 years. I am joined here in the press box by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, and we will be taking you through tonight's program. And Neil, Wekiva had a little bit of a mixed start to the season, but things starting to look up for them as they go 2-2. Their 2 losses are still quality losses, playing difficult opponents. Lake Brantley honestly could say the same thing of their 3 losses. Both of these schools have very tough schedules, but Wekiva looking to get above 500 tonight as they look toward making a plausible run at the postseason.
Yeah, and if you joined us last week, you know our big theme, our underlying theme was, of course, we had a pair of teams, West Orange and Wekiva, both 1-2. The winner was going to be in a much better position with that 2-2 record to make a playoffs than the team at 1-3. Of course, tonight, Lake Brantley comes in 1-3. As you mentioned, they've had a very difficult schedule, like Wekiva's, in my opinion, maybe not quite as difficult. Nonetheless, they lost to Oviedo and Lyman to start the season. Beat up on Palmetto Ridge. That was a 61-26 score, and Lake Mary defeated them. So this is a team, of course, for years and years. They were a perennial state championship contender under George Clayton for over 3 decades. He retired in 2015, and his son is now the coach, Skip, and they keep running that triple option. This will be the most unique challenge that Wekiva will have all season in terms of what they're going to be facing design, concept, strategy-wise with that triple option.
And again, Neil, you also mentioned to me before the game, Wekiva is going to be playing with a little bit of a handicap tonight.
Yeah, Tyree Davis is out. He, of course, was injured in the second game against Socoy on the first possession as we get underway. Tonight on Homecoming, and straight up the middle, it'll be 1st and 10 for Lake Brantley, the Patriots. So, again, Tyree Davis out of the lineup. We'll talk more about that. We're going to see the wide receiver, Anthony Gay, take over and look for a lot more running. This year, of course, Jeremiah Schwartz wanted to incorporate more passing. They were in that. They have been doing that when Tyree is in. Of course, obviously, when he's not in, you're not quite as sound and smooth.
MJ Mitchell on the return for the Patriots, taking it from about the 10 up to the 29-yard line. Lake Brantley will have the opening possession of tonight's contest, starting from there with 1st and 10.
So as you just heard Mark say, ball at the Lake Brantley 19. First play from scrimmage on Homecoming 2023. Handoff straight up the middle. Again, the triple option, the forte. About 80% of the time they not only run, but they run that triple option. And that was number 2, Tristan Roth. Number 3, Alexandro Catano.
Catano on the carry for the Patriots for a gain of 3. It brings up 2nd and 7 from the Patriots' own 31-yard line.
So we'll explain more of that as we go along the triple option that is. In the meantime, as Mark just said, 2nd and 7. Thank you for joining us on this Friday night. And so far, we have not seen a lot of options. It's been that first, we haven't gone to the 2nd and 3rd option. Quarterback Parker Perales has gone with the first option, and they are close to a first down. Nothing fancy on that play, just straight ahead.
Hebert on the carry, and that's a pickup of 6 yards. Brings up 3rd and a long 1 for the Patriots from their own 37.
So again, Lake Brantley 1-3 as they hand it off straight up the middle, power running. They stay with that first option.
Once again, that's Tavin Hebert on the carry, and he has enough for a Patriot first down. The ball spotted at the 46-yard line for a gain of 7. So we got a drum line passing by here. We'll turn up the sound on that for you.
Still early, first quarter, just a couple minutes in. And they stay with that triple option. If you just joined us,
Alexander Catano on the carry for minimal gain. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Patriots from their own 46.
Lake Brantley, the only school that I know of, at least in Central Florida, probably in the northern half, that still runs the triple option about 80% of the time. Their quarterback, Parker Peerless, 5'9" junior, runs that offense. Requires a lot of decision making. If you're on defense, you got to be patient and disciplined. And there you see where that patience and discipline pays off, breaking down and taking a loss is Herbert.
Tavin Hebert on the carry, taken down for a loss by Jaden Smith of the Mustang defense. That is a loss of 7, make it 8 on the play. 3rd and 18 coming up for the Patriots.
So your starting lineup on defense for Wekiva up front. Sincere Edwards, the all-everything defensive lineman. You'll see him line up at several positions on that line along with linebacker. Omar Hayes. As we go under, and again, going down hard, that's Peerless.
Parker Perales stumbles and will have a loss of probably about another 7 or 8 pending the outcome of the penalty marker, which is against Wekiva.
The rest of that defensive line, Xavier Stevenson, Mujahid Jefferson, otherwise known as MJ, and as you heard Mark say, penalty for Wekiva, and that's going to do some damage after that big loss. And that's been a concern throughout the first 4 games. Wekiva, I believe their lowest total has been 14 so far. So your 2 linebackers for Wekiva. Omar Hayes, he's a defensive lineman. Jalen Barnes, Tyrese Alexis. And your secondary, Jabari Smith, Jameer Tyson, Anthony Gray Jones, and Cybrian Peoples.
Personal foul was called against the Mustangs. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. That moves the ball up to the 45-yard line.
Still 3rd down, though.
There we go.
But, of course, Lake Brantley also gets another play. They're actually going – they do not get an extra play. It is 4th
Correct.
down.
Yeah, it was at the end of the play. So, the official is over there consulting with the chain gang to make sure that they've got the right down displayed over there at the edge of the field. So it is –
so that was an 8-yard loss, by the way.
And, boy, that was a lot of trouble for Perales, who actually, this is unusually it's common in a way that you don't see at the college and professional level, at the high school level, to find a quarterback who's also your punter. Perales immediately gets into trouble there and has to send up the punt under duress. And so they'll only get a net of about 5 yards out of that punt. So
Wekiva's defense, a bit of a rough start there, giving up a couple of plays of at least 5 yards on those first couple of plays, and then they clamp down on that triple option. And better than average, actually really good field position right at midfield. And again, it'll be Anthony Gay under center as he steps in for Tyree Davis. They'll be running that 1-back set in motion. is Bennett. He gets the handoff, trying some trickery, maybe not direct trickery.
Joshua Bennett on the carry for the Mustangs.
Trying to go with the wide receiver sweep, and that does not go anywhere. Lake Brantley smelled that out from the beginning.
A loss of 1 on the play. It puts the ball slightly back into Mustang territory at the 49-yard line, 2nd and 11.
So besides Gay under center, Tyree Filius in the background, Jeremy Benjamin, Joshua Bennett, and Michael Ellis, your wide receivers. We'll get to the offensive linemen, the big boys, in just a couple of minutes at 2nd and 11. And they hand it off straight up to Filius, and he's cut down. Trying to plow ahead. He loses a yard. And Wekiva facing its first
no gain on the
down.
play. 3rd and 11 coming up for the Mustangs.
Wekiva facing its first 3rd down situation of the night here on homecoming from Baptist Orthodontic Stadium. Your guys up front. Again, we'll get to that in just a minute. Wekiva 2-2, and certainly a victory will go a long way towards them making their march into the playoffs, a successful march. 1 back set, Bennett in motion, fake handoff. Gay, the wide receivers, filling in, sweeps around. He's got room. He keeps chugging and motoring. And when all is said and done, they'll be 1st and 10 inside the red zone.
Anthony Gay with a big run for the Mustangs.
The QB draw.
That is all the way down to the 17-yard line. That is a 34-yard run for Anthony Gay, and the Mustangs have a 1st down.
Also the first time either team tonight has moved the ball into the opponent's territory. So your offensive linemen, we'll get to that in just a minute again. As Wekiva looks at 1st and 10 inside the 20, they'll keep it on the ground. We're going to see a lot of running tonight with Tyree out, the quarterback, and that is Bennett. He takes his 2nd carry. This time he does get some forward progress.
Joshua Bennett on the carry. Cole Katauskas on the tackle for the Patriots. It's a gain of 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up from the Patriot 12-yard line.
So offensive linemen, the big boys, Malachi Enriquez in the middle. Your tackles, James Mixon, Isaiah McNeish, the guards, Shine Love, and Mujahid Jefferson, who, yes, he is also playing defense going 2 ways. Wekiva threatening 5-17 first quarter 2023 homecoming game against Lake Brantley as Gay lines him up in the 1 back set. He takes it himself and plows ahead. Nothing spectacular, but it'll set him up 2 yards, set him up on 3rd and 3 at the 10.
Anthony Gay on the keeper. Gain of 2 on the play. 3rd and 3 coming up from the 10-yard line.
Hand off this time to, I believe that's Bennett, and he just slams ahead, just trying to get that 1st down. Looks like he'll be about a yard short. Looked like he was only able to get 2, and excuse me, that was actually Filius, number 3. So the first decision.
Filius on the carry for a gain of 2. That'll bring up 4th and 1 for the Mustangs, just short of 1st down yardage at the 7-yard line.
I was going to say it was the first decision, critical decision for Coach Schwartz, and I don't think there was much decision, actually. Nobody came off, nobody even looked. So going with the bunch set, Filius lined up right. Davis takes it himself, tries to follow that right side, and I do not think he got it. I think that left side of the Lake Brantley defense swarmed in, shut him down. And yeah.
And that is no gain on the play, and so that will turn the ball over on downs to the Patriots at their own 8-yard line. So, Neil, you saw a lot that you liked out of the Mustang offense on that possession. Certainly the big run by Gay to get the ball into the red zone. And, you know, obviously Wekiva's had a little bit of an inconsistent kicking game, so even from short distance, a field goal is by no means a gimme. So you understand the decision to go for it there, and certainly Wekiva got some good momentum off of that possession, but unfortunately for the Mustangs, they will not come away with any points.
Yeah, the good news, though, is Wekiva has established field position in their favor. Of course, Lake Brantley's going to have to go 92 yards for a touchdown. And they did get a couple of first downs, as Mark mentioned, to get the ball in. They also showed that they do have the ability to run with Tyree Davis out, slamming that ball down inside the 10-yard line. So Lake Brantley will take over, as we mentioned. They are the masters of the triple option, really the only team in Central Florida, maybe even the northern half, that still runs it. As you can hear the Wekiva faithful on homecoming urging on their defense. Peerless snaps the ball. And so far, we have not seen anything outside the tackles from Lake Brantley. They continue to try to pound and move that ball inside.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 coming up for Lake Brantley from their own 8-yard line.
Approaching the end of the first quarter, no score. Wekiva looking to win 2 consecutive games for the first time this season. And again, that's Peerless. This time he takes the ball himself. And he gains 7 yards, the longest gain of this possession. So that'll take it to 3rd and 3.
Gain of 6 on the play. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Patriots from their own 15-yard line.
So, of course, when you run that triple option, you're a very deliberate offense. Take your time. And Peerless again, playing himself as the second option, unable to gain the yards for the first down. No, actually he did gain the yards.
Morales on the carry, and that is up to the 19-yard line for a gain of 4.5. That is just enough for a Patriot first down. And Neil, I don't know if our fans can hear this. I'm going to turn up the background sound a little bit so you can hear what we hear. They have passed out kazoos to the student section tonight.
By the way, Peerless comes in, the quarterback, 442 yards running, 8.2 yards per carry. He won't take it himself. Fumble! And still on the ground in number 9. That is Jaden Smith, the defensive back, falling on the ball. Wekiva. Second opportunity, first major mistake of the game.
Jaden Smith recovers a fumble for the Mustangs deep in Patriot territory. The ball spotted at the 7-yard line, and Wekiva will essentially pick up the last drive where they left off with 1st and goal.
So not only does Wekiva get possession of the ball on that first mistake, but they actually gain 12 yards.
2:11 to go here in the first quarter.
Again, if you joined us late, Anthony Gay under center, or in Wekiva's case, out of the shotgun. Tyree Davis still recovering from the injury he suffered a couple weeks ago against Ocoee. Everything else pretty much the same. Turns up the concept and design. Wekiva remaining in their one-back set. Plows ahead to the 3. Just lower that shoulder and move the pile.
Jaden Smith once again on the carry. That picks up about 4 yards on the play. 2nd and goal coming up for the Mustangs from the Patriot 3-yard line.
So Wekiva getting the ball here on a turnover, a fumble. 2nd and goal for Wekiva now. 1:45 in the first quarter. Out of the one-back set again. Play action. Gay takes it himself, trying to sweep. Avoids the first tackle. Goes down on that second wave. And he actually lost.
Anthony Gay on the carry. The stop
by
Blaine Gibbons. Loss of 1 on the play. 3rd and goal coming up for the Mustangs from their Patriot 4-yard line.
Approaching 1 minute in the first quarter. hand back fumble. So Wekiva returns the favor. Now both teams with the fumble. Of course, Wekiva recovered their fumble, which means they still have an opportunity to score. And
snap gets loose from Anthony Gay, but it is recovered for the Mustangs by Jamarian Robinson. Wekiva remains in possession, but they'll be facing 4th and goal from the Patriot 14-yard line.
It's a 10-yard loss. Nate Fritchley steps in now, and this will be a 31-yard field goal from the 21. Out of the hold of Jabari Smith. Ball down, kick up, and accurate, but in good. So
kick is up and good for the Mustangs. Nathan Fritchley puts 3 points on the board for the Mustangs. However, there is a late penalty marker on the field. With 12 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Wekiva takes a 3-0 lead pending the outcome of the penalty marker.
So Wekiva looking for their first 2-game winning streak of the season. They come in 2-2. Lake Brantley 1-3. We'll see Lake Brantley go back to that triple option. Lake Brantley playing a difficult schedule this year, still 1-3. A team that's been somewhat hard to figure out.
That's what I got to figure out here, because
and we're not gonna get the kickoff right away.
illegal substitution is called against the Mustangs. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. That means that it negates the field goal, although Wekiva will get another opportunity.
So you heard Mark Barchi. He's not only the other voice. I'm Neil Fisher, our play-by-play, but he's also the public address announcer for Wekiva. Thank you again for joining us on this Friday night. It's homecoming here at Wekiva. Of course, the homecoming court will be announced at halftime. The highlight in the finale is the announcement of the king and queen, and now Coach Schwartz is going to go for the first down. Ball all the way back at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Neil, that penalty kind of puts the ball into no man's land. It's it's out of Fritchley's comfortable range. You saw that the previous field goal attempt was barely good from where the ball was previously spotted. It would be well outside of his comfortable range from here, but at the same time, you're really so far into the field that punting is not a particularly efficient thing to do at this position.
Yeah, so Wekiva looking at 4th and goal from the 29-yard line. How often do you see that? And I see Sincere Edwards coming in. And actually, Wekiva is going to punt. Schwartz changing his mind again.
The Mustangs requesting their first timeout of the first half. There may have been another penalty, Neil, because somehow we ended up way back at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, you lost 15 yards.
Now we're
there.
punting.
And takes a Wekiva roll. Good job by the coverage team. Down inside the 5.
Ball is downed by Greg Jones deep in Patriot territory after the penalties. The Mustangs will elect to punt the ball. And so now Lake Brantley will take over from their own 3-yard line with 1st and 10, 5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. So, yeah, Neil, apologies. I had that called as a timeout, but I believe there actually was a second penalty marker. And so, yeah, Wekiva lost a ton of yardage on penalties. So the field goal comes off the board. It pushed them so far back that going for it on 4th down was unrealistic since they would have had the entire rest of the field to gain. And, of course, that was well outside of Fritchley's field goal range. So punting was the only sensible thing at that point after the second penalty pushed them so far back.
15 yards lost on those penalties. Last play of the first quarter. And a short gain. Actually, 4 yards, so solid gain on first down. Catano taking the carry, and so we will walk the length, almost the entire length of the field as we begin the second quarter. Wekiva with the no score at the end of the first quarter. Wekiva coming in 2-2, looking to win 2 games in a row for the first time this season.
That takes us to the end of the first quarter. We remain scoreless as the Mustangs knock at the door twice, but unable to convert any points. Lake Brantley will have the ball deep in their own territory when we come back from the first break.
Welcome back to Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium. No score as we begin the second quarter. Wekiva on defense in their maroon jerseys with the gold numbers. They come in 2-2. Rough start to the season, losing a couple games. They turned it around last week to even the record at 2-2. Lake Brantley, the opponent, running that triple option. Handoff to Herbert, and he'll be close to the first down. Actually, looks like he got the first down going behind that right side of his line.
Taven Herbert on the carry for the Patriots. That gets the ball out to the 14-yard line, and it is good for a Patriot first down.
So Wekiva able to drive the ball in its very first possession inside the 10-yard line. And that's really been the difference why this ball is so far back right now for Lake Brantley. That drive gave him the advantage of field position, as we have yet to see a pass. And again, that's nothing new for Lake Brantley. They only throw the ball about 20% of the time. They rely not only on the run but the triple option.
Catano on the carry, and he has a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 coming up from the 20.
So one thing I want to mention is Wekiva, Coach Schwartz was unhappy last week despite winning about Wekiva not being able to turn scoring opportunities into actual points, as Lake Brantley goes with an empty back set. The short handoff stuffed right at the line of scrimmage by the Wekiva defense, smothering the ball carrier.
Gain of 1 on the play. 3rd and 3 coming up from the 21-yard line.
Wekiva, in Coach Schwartz's terms, should have scored at least 28 points. They won 12-7. They had 2 golden opportunities following turnovers inside the 25-yard line and could not get the ball in. And we're seeing that pattern continuing tonight as Wekiva's gotten the ball inside the 10 twice without points. One back in the backfield, and was that a fumble from the snap? Anyway, yeah, that was a fumble.
Yeah, there's a tussle over the ball there. I think I see Christ Innocent tangling with somebody else.
The worst possible time for Lake Brantley to fumble. 9:49, second quarter, no score.
No gain on the play. 4th down and 3 coming up for the Patriots.
And Lake Brantley's going to go for the first down. They might just be trying to draw Wekiva offside, given their penchant for penalties.
And they got it. That's precisely what happened. Dead ball prior to the snap. Offsides called against the Mustang defense. That's 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, and a Patriot first down. Well, Lake Brantley set the baits, and Wekiva ate it up.
And by the way, Wekiva has committed at least 12 penalties in every one of their games. As Lake Brantley with the first set of downs, they'll try that left side, barreling behind. Was that Herbert?
I believe that was Catano on the carry for a gain of 4. That puts the ball at the 30-yard line, brings up 2nd and 6.
So mention that Perilous came in with 442 yards running. Herbert 295, Catano 255, 1,226 or 306 per game for Lake Brantley out of that triple option. And certainly that will not help their stats as Sincere Edwards, the Pittsburgh commit, slams.
On the carry, Edwards on the stop. And that'll be a loss of 3 on the play. 3rd and 9 coming up for the Patriots from their own 27.
So now Lake Brantley facing 3rd and 12.
3rd and 9.
3rd and 9 as we reach close to the midway point. One back set. Short handoff. Nope, a pass. The first one of the game. Perilous throws and intercepted. Ripped out of the air by Smith. He's got room. And still on his feet as he cuts to the middle. Midfield got something big brewing out of this interception.
Jabari Smith has the pick 6 all the way down to the end zone for a 55-yard Mustang touchdown.
So credit that interception to the defensive line. They caused all kinds of pressure for Perilous. He had to throw on the run, a short field to work with, threw up a lane duck pass, and Smith, right position, right time, he did the rest, weaving from the left sideline all the way to the right, and the defense takes it upon themselves to create the first points of the game. 7:19 remaining, 6-0 Wekiva. We do have an injury on the field. It is a Lake Brantley player who's down. And
I had that as actually being slightly past midfield, so I was going to give it about 55.
So credit Jabari Smith, 55-yard interception return, pick 6. And Wekiva with the 6-0 lead. 7:19 remaining in the first half. Wekiva looking to go to 3-2. They have faced one of the toughest schedules in the entire state in all classifications, as that's number 71.
Number 71, Gage Bowman, shaken up on the play, making his way off under his own power, as well as number 76. Both of those players making their way off with the assistance of the Patriot athletic training team. The Mustangs will now have the PAT off of the previous play.
So mention the offense has moved the ball inside the 10-yard line twice without any points. The defense has their back covered as far as that goes. A defense that has had one bad outing so far this season. Of course, they're coming in, giving up only 7 points last week to West Orange. You could also add to that a 6-point effort against Ocoee. Wekiva did lose that game 13-6. However, the lone touchdown was scored on a pick 6. And again, that was the game that Tyree Davis, the starting quarterback, was injured on the first possession.
And Neil, I went back and watched the replay. Smith picked that up at about the 47-yard line of Wekiva territory. So give him a 53-yard return for touchdown. And there's the PAT. Nathan Fritchley has the PAT for the Mustangs. That adds one more to the score, makes it 7-0 with 7 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the game. And now the Mustangs will kick off. It's taken at about the 10-yard line. Mitchell on the return for the Patriots. A return of about 20 yards. That spots the ball at the 30-yard line and make it the 29. Like Brantley takes over from there. The Mustangs request their first time out of the first half. Tavin Hebert on the carry for the Patriots, and that picks up a gain of 2, brings up 2nd and 8 from the 31-yard line. Prior to the snap, false start called against the Lake Brantley offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. And a replay of 3rd down. And we have reached the midpoint of the 2nd quarter. And so we'll pause for an official timeout. Back to live action, and the Patriots air it out. They've got their man, and he's got some room. First significantly successful pass play of the night for the Patriots. Pass is caught by Matthew Krause, and that is good for a big gain. from the 27-yard line of Patriot territory to the 34-yard line of Mustang territory. 1st and 10, Patriots. Gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Patriots. Another short carry for Lake Brantley. That puts the ball at the 28-yard line. Gain of 4. 3rd and 4 coming up for Lake Brantley. No gain on the play. 4th and 4 coming up for the Patriots. Tavin Hebert on the carry. The stop, on the completion, the stop is made by Jabari Smith. That puts the ball at the 23-yard line, and it is enough to move the chains for a Lake Brantley 1st down. Timeout, Patriots, their first of the first half. We'll be back with more from Mustang Field in a moment. Back to live action here at Mustang Field. And it's a fumble. And the Mustangs have recovered. Fumble recovered by Xavier Stevens, and Wekiva takes over in their own territory. Ball spotted at the 32-yard line. So now 3 turnovers favoring the Mustangs. And that really has been the story. Wekiva has gotten a good job of getting close to the end zone, but has not managed to do it on offense. The one touchdown that they have, to their credit, was a defensive touchdown on a pick 6. And now their second fumble recovery. A quick draw pass there. Pass is complete from Jabari Smith to Anthony Gay. That's good for a pickup of 3 yards. Puts the ball on the 35-yard line, 2nd and 7. Dead ball prior to the snap. False start called against the Mustangs. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot in a replay of 2nd down. Second and 12 coming up for the Mustangs now. Tyree Filius on the carry for the Mustangs. Stopped by Katauskas. That puts the ball at the 42-yard line, and it's enough for a Mustang first down. Gain of 12 on the carry. Just over a minute to go here in the first half. Then we've got, of course, our homecoming festivities. High snap, good recovery from Jabari Smith. Trying to make something out of nothing here. He at least manages to not end the play in disaster. Jabari Smith contains a high snap, but will have a loss of a yard with the tackle by Hector Rosado. The Mustangs request a timeout. That'll be their last of the first half, with 59 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Back with more in a moment. Reminder for those of you here at the stadium that we are live streaming tonight's game on YouTube and the NFHS Network. Make sure your friends and family back in Altamont Springs, elsewhere in Apopka, or anywhere in the world know that they can tune in live on YouTube or the NFHS Network. Also, don't go anywhere. At halftime, we will feature the crowning of our homecoming king and queen, as well as our prince and princess from the underclassmen. And then, of course, we'll also be looking forward to our band performances later on. Back to live action here at Mustang Field. Wekiva has the ball, trying to see if they can get a second score on the board before we get to halftime. There's the snap to Smith. He's got some time, but he throws low. Anthony Gay was open, gave the intended receiver. The pass falls incomplete, and it will bring up third down for the Mustangs. .54 seconds to go now. Wekiva really holding all the cards here. They can make the clock run down as much as they want. Obviously, if it gets to fourth down, they probably will want to do that so as not to leave Lake Brantley with any time to do anything with the rest of the half. But Wekiva with a couple of opportunities here to go for broke. Smith goes for the slant. Got some room, and he breaks free. That's Jeremy Benjamin. Jeremy Benjamin all the way down to the end zone for a Mustang touchdown. There you see on the replay, Benjamin getting away from the pack. Turns on the afterburners, nobody in front of him. And I was wrong before that. Last time out must have been Wekiva's second timeout. So now Wekiva requests their final timeout of the first half. We'll be back with the PAT in a moment. There goes the PAT, and it's up and good. Fritchley has the extra points, and it gives Wekiva a 14-0 lead with 40 seconds remaining in the first half. Fritchley back for the Mustang kickoff. And he'll change his mind on the placement. Setting it up a little bit left of center. .40 seconds to go. Again, Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs, here with you for homecoming night. Neil Fisher is also intermittently joining me. He has stepped away for a few minutes to do some photography. And there goes. Kickoff is returned by Hector Rosado, who gets about 3 or 4 yards before running out of bounds. Lake Brantley will start at their own 29-yard line. Davin Hebert on the carry. Stop made by Omar Hayes. It's good for a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 will be coming up for the Patriots as they spend their second timeout of the first half. We'll be back in a moment.
Time to get a paper done, so just something like, moving forward, the arch for tonight's homecoming court is being performed by the Junior RTC Sabre team. That'll do. Okay. You are a professional. I know you got it.
Welcome back to live action. In trouble, and it's Sac City. Tristan Roth is taken down by Hayes well in the backfield, and that'll be a TFL back to the 22-yard line. Loss of 15 on the play. 3rd and 17 coming up for Lake Brantley as time expires on the first half. So the Mustang defense getting it done in the first 2 quarters. 14-0 is your score at the end of 2 quarters. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We've got halftime festivities coming up in just a moment. And now we welcome to the field, adding some atmosphere to our 2023 homecoming festivities, your Pride of Wekiva, your Mustang Marching Band and Guard. And we also welcome to the field, providing our escort arch, the Wekiva High School Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps Sabre Team. And we'll begin now by welcoming our first honoree of your 2023 homecoming court. Eliana, tell me, your 2023 homecoming princess. She has been at Wekiva for 3 years and decided to get out of her comfort zone and run for junior class princess, and she is so glad she did. She now represents the junior class as princess. Eliana wants to be a travel nurse in the future. Currently, she is into cosmetology and has dreams of starting a brand. She would love to go to a college out of state for a fresh start, then be able to come and surprise her family with all the news. She wants to thank the junior class for choosing her as their princess. Once again, Eliana, tell me. Next up, we have our 2023 homecoming Prince Rodriguez. Originally from California, Prince moved to Florida several years ago. He is a third-year JROTC cadet with the rank of major and a position of mission support commander. Prince is also a third-year culinary student, a second-year soccer goalie, and he owns a goat named Odin. Prince has started to look at a few Florida colleges and universities, like UCF, Rollins, and Valencia. He's considering joining the National Guard. Prince currently has a 3.7 GPA and attributes it all to his amazing mother, who's always there to help. They're so close that they consider one another the other half. Once again, Prince Rodriguez. And now we are pleased to introduce your 2023 homecoming queen, Shaina Etienne. She has been at Wekiva High School for her entire high school career. When she graduates, she wants to go to Valencia for 2 years and then transfer to Florida A&M University or Southern University to acquire a business degree. Shaina wants to own her business, a one-stop beauty salon. Additionally, she wants to obtain a real estate license to be able to purchase a nice piece of land for her salon to sit upon. Currently, she is a hairstylist, and she considers herself an entrepreneur with many talents. She can do it all. In her spare time, she volunteers her time by helping out at school events, and she enjoys working with little kids. Once again, your homecoming queen, Shaina Etienne. And last but certainly not least, your 2023 homecoming king, Glenwyn Thompson. He has been at Wekiva for his entire high school career. Glenwyn specializes in track, particularly the 200 and 400 meter events. And we're going to pause here as we have had one of our members of the Sabre team collapse on the field. And we appreciate your patience. We are paused here in our homecoming festivities. We've had a bit of a medical emergency take place on the field. We have our JROTC Sabre Guard is out here providing the arch and adding a lot of regal pageantry to our ceremony, as they do for us every year. And unfortunately, one of their members has collapsed on the field. That is being tended to by our training staff right now. So our band has taken a knee and is now returning to the sideline as, again, our training staff administers to his care. We certainly hope that he's okay, and it's nothing but a minor fainting spell. But of course, obviously, we want to take all the necessary precautions. So thanks for your patience, and we look forward to getting back to our celebration in just a few minutes. This is Mark Barchi with you here in the press box. 14-0 the score at halftime of our 2023 Week 5 homecoming event. The Mustangs have one score on a pick six, and the other was off of a turnover, not directly off the turnover, but a few plays later. Both of them big plays. Was I believe, about a 55-60 yard pick six, and then a 59-yard slant pass, how we got the 14 points on the board. And then Wekiva's defense, of course, has been getting the job done, keeping the Patriots out of the end zone. So again, we appreciate your patience. We are paused right now in our homecoming festivities to allow our medical staff to take care of things on the field. For our Air Force JROTC training team, they, of course, do a fantastic job for us all year, not just at football events, but at all of our sporting events. They are there anytime there's a special occasion, or sometimes even if it's just a good old regular season game. They're obviously here for every home football game. They have come for volleyball, basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, pretty much anything that happens on campus. You can find them there, providing just that extra level of class to our festivities and honoring our country in doing so, presenting the colors, and we're always glad to have them. And obviously a frightening moment and a nervous moment for one of our members of the AFJROTC as we wait for an update from the field. And of course, we express our sincere support for our entire Arch team, the Sabre team from the AFJROTC, and in particular, our member who is being escorted off the field with the assistance of our outstanding training and admin teams. Once again, we would obviously like to congratulate our homecoming court for 2023. Of course, the right thing to do was to suspend the ceremony so that we could take care of our cadet who needed medical attention, but certainly we do want to congratulate Eliana, Prince, Shina, and Glenwyn on their nominations to the homecoming court. I will go ahead and finish reading Glenwyn's bio for you. As we mentioned, he has been at Wekiva High School for his entire high school career and specializes in track, particularly the 200 and 400 meter events, and additionally he is a member of the Air Force JROTC and holds the position of Flight Commander for Echo Flight. He's now exploring leadership through the SGA class. Those experiences have allowed him to cultivate the essential leadership skills that he believes will serve him well beyond high school. His career aspirations lie in the field of trade and business. After high school, he is considering two paths: attending college to pursue both track and computer science, or joining the military for the exceptional opportunities it offers in the technical fields. His immediate goals this school year would be to break the 200 and 400 meter school records and improving his grades and test scores to gain admission to a reputable university or college. So once again, congratulations to Glenwyn Thompson, your 2023 Homecoming King, along with his fellow Homecoming royalty, Shina Etienne, Prince Rodriguez, and Eliana Telme. Welcome back to Mustang Field. Mark Barchi here with Neil Fisher to take you through the second half, and Wekiva will have the opening possession of the second half. Neil, the defense definitely getting it done, keeping Lake Brantley out of the end zone and also picking up that nice 60-yard pick six. Then, of course, there was the equally impressive 59-yard slant that was run from it was Jabari Smith, Jeremy Benjamin, picking up 59 yards and taking it to the house there right at the end of the first half to get us our 14 points on the board. And Wekiva is going to be looking to lather, rinse, repeat. The only thing really Wekiva maybe didn't like about that first half is their red zone performance.
Yeah, Mark, I think you summed it up as best as possible. They had the ball inside the 10-yard lines, the second and third possessions, and we're unable to score as we get started on the second half. Of course, the good news is that
the Mustangs will take the touchback to open up the second half. They'll take the ball out to the 20-yard line and bring up 1st and 10.
Yeah, the good news is that Wekiva starts the second half with possession in that 14-0 lead. So, again, we've mentioned all throughout the game, Lake Brantley, known for the triple option. For those of you who are my age, over the age of 45, you think back to the old Oklahoma teams in the 80s, early 90s, maybe even going back to the mid-70s under Barry Switzer. They ran the wishbone. It's really a similar offense. Again, it's called the triple option offense because the quarterback has to make 3 decisions in terms of who he hands off to or if he keeps it himself. And Wekiva so far has kept them under control. No big gains. And Lake Brantley, the other thing about the triple option is that you'd think that it's an offense that thrives on the 2-3 yard gains, just that steady, methodical movement upfield, as Hank Stram would say, matriculation of the ball. And it's really not the case. They get those 6 or 7 really big plays, puts them in scoring position, and that's when it's really the most effective. So
there was a penalty marker on the previous play. It was a personal foul against Wekiva. That is a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, and the Patriots have opted to kick it again. This time they'll be kicking from the Wekiva 45-yard line. Interesting choice there, Neil, because, of course, you can't kick it out of bounds on a kickoff, so you don't necessarily have an opportunity. Well, you can if you want, but it's a penalty. But it's not like a punt where you have an opportunity to easily pin them inside, deep in their own territory. So what they're hoping for is that Wekiva is going to return this one and end up somewhere less than the 20-yard line. We'll see if it pays off for them.
Or maybe even they're thinking fumble.
Sure.
Or maybe even another penalty. Again, knowing Wekiva's penchant for penalties, every one of their 4 games so far, they have committed double-digit penalties.
Well, okay, so they're going for the onside kick. I see what the strategy was there.
Fool both
I
of us.
I should have seen that coming. Doesn't work though. The onside kick is picked up by Jameer Tyson, and the Mustangs will end up with better field position than they had with the touchback. That will put them at the 33-yard line of their own territory. 1st and 10, Wekiva.
So 14-0 lead on homecoming week. Wekiva with that lead. They take possession. Of course, they are in their traditional home garb. The maroon background with the gold numbers, like Brantley, traveling the 5 miles or so. And we haven't mentioned this. Not really, it's somewhat of a sneaky as miscommunication. Gay runs to the left. He might actually gain something. He's going to gain a 1st down and then some, almost 2 first downs, all the way into Lake Brantley territory, so can't ask for a better start, especially after the confusion after the snap.
Anthony Gay on the QB keep, makes something out of nothing, getting it into Brantley territory, and taking it all the way for a 21-yard gain into Patriot territory at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 Mustangs.
So out of that one-back set, although it is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing, that's Bennett. Now Robinson, he's going to go all the way. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All the way to the end zone. Jamarian Robinson.
So a quick juke, a quick jive on the left, comes back to the right. At the line of scrimmage, another juke and jive. 90-degree angle through the middle of the field, and he was off to the races. And Wekiva, the 20-0 lead. 2 plays, 67 yards, and now a 3-touchdown deficit being faced by Lake Brantley. 11:05, third quarter, as Nate Fritchley steps on for the PAT attempt. Can't ask for a better start to a second half than what Wekiva just put together. And there's the PAT, and no question on that one. That ball almost got actually all the way to the 414. So a beautiful night here at Baptist Orthodontic Stadium. Thank you for joining me and my partner. I'm Neil Fisher. My partner, Mark Barchi. He's also the public address announcer here at Baptist Orthodontic Stadium and all on Wekiva campus. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Of course, homecoming this week. Tomorrow's the big dance. We announced the homecoming court at halftime, although we did something a little unusual, actually a lot unusual. We just announced 4 of the contestants, the king and queen, capping off that halftime ceremony. And as I was saying, these two teams, you think about it, one's Lake Brantley, of course, in Seminole County, and Wekiva in Orange County, so you'd think there wasn't really much of a rivalry.
And, Neil, we've got a score update coming in. Edgewater 27, Apopka 0 at halftime.
Wow, so a bit of a surprise there. Not so much Edgewater winning, but the score. I believe that's, I know Edgewater's number 1 in the Orlando Sentinel Super 16. I believe Apopka's number 3. As I was saying, both these teams in different counties, so you really wouldn't think it's much of a geographical rivalry, but they are actually only 5 miles apart, roughly the same distance as from here, Wekiva, which of course is right next to the 414, and Apopka or even Ocoee. Something else to point out too, both these schools, although they are in different counties, they're only maybe half a mile from the other county. So as we get ready, Fritchley kicks it off. Lake Brantley's got work to do, trailing by 3 TDs now. And fumble, that's going to even put him in a deeper hole. It looks like Wekiva recovered. Yes, our refs determined it is a Wekiva fumble
recovered by the Mustangs, and Wekiva's offense is not going to get a break this quarter.
Nor is Lake Brantley's defense. So Lake Brantley, trailing 14-0 at halftime, could very easily find themselves down by 4 touchdowns very early in this third quarter. And you know what, Mark? Right now, those 2 possessions that Wekiva moved the ball inside the 10-yard line, weren't able to score in the first half, seem like a distant memory, especially if Wekiva can punch this in and take that 4-touchdown lead. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Lake Brantley 20. Again, if you joined us late, Tyree Davis, the senior quarterback, high hopes this season. He's been plagued by an injury, suffered first possession against Ocoee. That was the second game of the season. He did not start this game. And certainly Wekiva's looking none the worse for the wear right now without him under center. That's Anthony Gay has taken most of the snaps, and he'll take this one. He's running behind his blocking. Robinson providing the blocking, and Lake Brantley comes up with the big play, or at least the play which slows down the Wekiva attack. And yeah, just a 1-yard gain there as Gay followed the right side of his line. So the ball at the 19-yard line. And now I realize we're early in the second half, and perhaps you're not directly, or it's not at the top of the list of priorities. But with that 3-touchdown lead and having the ball in the red zone, you can see what Wekiva now can take some major time off the clock, and we're starting to move towards the time is an enemy of Lake Brantley. High snap, inside handoff to Bennett on the sweep. He's got the angle. He's got the first down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Score the touchdown. Slides into the end zone. And actually there is a penalty at the 18-yard line. I believe it is going to come back. That's usually holding.
And it has the touchdown. However, there is a penalty marker on the play, holding called against the Mustang offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul and a replay of second down.
So that's why Bennett was able to get outside the hash mark so quickly and turn upfield. And, of course, the Wekiva faithful, if you've never been to Baptist Orthodontic Stadium, Wekiva's home stadium, the press box is behind the home side. And we are hearing a earful from the Wekiva faithful about their disagreement, but that was the correct call. So it'll now be second and long.
As we've been trying all game to balance the crowd noise against the announcer mics. Someone armed the student section with kazoos at the beginning of the game.
Ball at the Lake Brantley 27, so it's an 8-yard loss, which means Bennett did actually gain 2 yards. Now they'll hand off again. This has been again. He spins, slashes, and rumbles ahead. Actually gained back the yards lost and then some.
Jamarian Robinson on the carry for the Mustangs. Stop is made by Charlie Torres of the Patriot defense. That takes the ball up to the 17-yard line. That's a gain of 9.
16.
Make it the 16-yard line for a gain of 10. It brings up 3rd and 6 for Wekiva.
So certainly 3rd and 6, as you just heard Mark say. That's Mark Barchi. He's also the public address announcer. Much easier, manageable third down distance. And Gay will take the ball this time. The quarterback draw eludes the first tackle and won't be able to get out of that second. No gain. So now a 4th down decision for Coach Schwartz. So far, he has elected to go for it, try to get the first down.
Gay on the carry for no gain. 4th and 6 coming up for Wekiva. Yeah, again, you're in that tough spot where this is kind of at the fringe of Fritchley's comfortable field goal range. It's obviously way too close to make it worth punting, so this is a scenario where it's not particularly surprising for Coach Schwartz to go for the 4th down conversion. Let's see what we get.
Pass, screen, and can't see that they're catching that, but he's doing some weaving and some great maneuver, and this time they'll get the first down.
Anthony Gay screens to Joshua Bennett, and that is enough to move the chains for Mustang first down.
So Bennett came into tonight's game. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Wekiva 10-yard line. Bennett, the leading receiver in terms of yardage and number of catches. Gay number 2, and that's not going to go up because, of course, he's the quarterback. And he has come up with another big catch. And again, I know you might not be directly thinking about it, but Lake Brantley is now entering time as their enemy as Robinson takes the handoff. And there is a flag. It was a strong gain on first down, powering ahead.
Jamarian Robinson on the carry. Flag on the play.
As we are now 7.5 minutes, third quarter. Homecoming at Baptist Orthodontic Stadium. That's Wekiva. And a face mask, so not only...
Personal foul, face mask called against the Patriot defense. That is half the distance to the goal.
So not only a 7-yard rumble straight ahead by Robinson, but then some more yardage added on at the end. And when it's all said and done, it'll be 1st and goal. Actually, 2nd and goal.
Well, no, it's going to be 1st and goal. So that's the benefit of the penalty.
Oh, yes.
Because that's about the same thing as what Robinson earned naturally on the play. The difference is that it resets, or it holds the down at 1st instead of going to 2nd. So
ball is at just inside the 2-yard line, and Wekiva threatening to take a 4-touchdown lead on homecoming night.
Dead ball prior to the snap. Offsides called against the Patriot defense. That's, again, half the distance to the goal. Last time it'll put it down to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal from the 2. So, Neil, this feels like a familiar refrain. Usually we're talking about Wekiva when we talk about hair-tearing penalties. And this time the Patriots are donating to the Mustang cause just at the spot they can't afford to do it.
And power bunch set. That was Davis just leaning over and score the touchdown.
It's into the end zone for Mustang. Touchdown.
QB sneak successful. 27-0, 6:26. Third quarter. And, of course, Fritchley will come in and try the PAT. Chance to get the lead up to 28 points. And so Wekiva looking good to go to 3-2 when have its first 2-game winning streak of the season. Smith will be holding. Ball down, kick up, and no problem on this one.
Fritchley has the PAT, and the Mustangs lead 28-0 with 6:26 to go in this third quarter.
So Wekiva taking advantage of the Lake Brantley fumble. Three turnovers now for Lake Brantley. 14 points scored off of those 28 points. Wekiva taking over 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. And 8 plays later, they extend the lead to 28-0 with 6:26 remaining in the third quarter. Homecoming at Wekiva High School on the southeast side of Apopka, Florida.
Anthony Gay with a 2-yard touchdown QB keeper, followed by the Fritchley PAT. 28-0 the score with 6:26 to go in the third quarter.
So now 2 fumbles. Actually, I believe there's been 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles for Lake Brantley. And we mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, Lake Brantley for years and years, a perennial state championship contender. Not so much the case. That triple option offense has been held at bay for the most part this season, a 1-3 record, and certainly you're seeing some of the reasons why tonight. As I've said many times during my career and as your partner, Mark, you don't have to be a football guru to understand when you're turning the ball over, you're not going to win most of the time. Not only are you giving the opponent the opportunity to increase their possessions, but you're also taking one away from yourselves. And if you don't have possession of the ball, you can't score. So
Patriots take over with 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
And now, of course, I would say even though we're midway through the third quarter, we are definitely in the territory of time is the enemy of Lake Brantley, and especially running that triple option. They go back again to the triple option. They've thrown 2 passes tonight. They've taken over 30 snaps.
Taven Hebert on the carry for Lake Brantley. That's a pickup of 4 yards, taking the ball to the 39-yard line. 2nd and 6 coming up for Lake Brantley.
So now you're seeing the disadvantage of relying on the triple option 80% of the time as Peerless lines up his team, 1-back set, handoff, and got more out of it than originally appeared, about 5 yards. Plowing ahead, lowering the shoulders, all the way up to the 43-yard line now.
Hebert again gets to the 43-yard line, and that's a gain of 4. 3rd and 2 coming up for Lake Brantley.
And as you heard my partner, Mark Barchi, say 3rd and 2 for Lake Brantley. Straight ahead, and yes, they will get that first down, nothing fancy. And while they are moving the ball, and going back to what I was saying before a couple of snaps ago, this is a disadvantage for Lake Brantley because you're chewing up such a tremendous amount of the clock.
Taven Hebert on the carry gets the ball to the 46-yard line for a gain of 3. That is just enough for a Brantley first down. Just past the halfway mark of the third quarter here.
And again, the same play. They keep moving that ball up the field, matriculating it, as Hank Stram would like to say.
Once again, Taven Hebert up the middle, this time for a pickup of 6 yards. That puts the ball into Mustang territory at the 48-yard line and brings up 2nd and 4. So, Neil, to your point, the Patriots getting results. The question is, are they getting results fast enough?
Yeah, they've moved the ball 17 yards on this possession as we see the same play, and I believe that's Aber again dragging them. But the problem is you've chewed up 2.5 minutes.
This time it's Tristan Roth on the carry.
Number 2.
He is stopped by the Mustangs, Sam Alsey. That's good for a Patriot first down. The ball is down inside the 40 at the 38-yard line for a gain of 10.
So Wekiva so far a methodical performance, scoring twice in the first half, twice in the second. And now, even though Lake Brantley is moving that ball with sufficiency, because this is a triple option offense, it takes up a lot of time, they can afford to give up a few of these longer distance possessions.
Parker Perales on the carry for a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Patriots from the Mustang 37-yard line.
So Parker Perales hasn't carried it in a while, and now another carry. Twice in a row.
Parker Perales once again on the carry, this time getting the ball down to the 30-yard line. Gain of 7 brings up 3rd and a long 2.
So Lake Brantley desperately needing points as we're under 3 minutes in the third quarter. They got to keep this possession alive. And even though the play ended on the wrong side of third down, the markers, I believe he did pick up that first down.
Well, maybe not.
No,
ball is spotted in the same place it was before at the 30-yard line. So that will bring up 4th and a long 2, maybe a short 3 for the Patriots. So, Neil, this is a very obvious go-for-it on 4th down scenario. Field goal doesn't really help you here.
Trailing by 28 points as we approach the end of the third quarter. They'll go with that one-back set again, motion, and flags. That play never got off.
Dead ball prior to the snap. Offsides called against the Mustang defense. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. And it's enough for a Patriot first down. So, Neil, again, if Coach Schwartz had any hair to tear out.
Maybe this is why he doesn't have any hair.
It might be.
might have just said, why keep the hair, the temptation.
Yep, these dead ball penalties, and that's the second time tonight Wekiva's given up a first down and an offsides penalty.
Yeah, and if
when they otherwise had the Patriots on the rocks with 4th down.
And we're going to get a strong first down. Actually, it's going to be over 10 in a second consecutive first down. To that point, you also know Lake Brantley's going to be trying to draw you offsides.
Oh, yeah. Tristan Roth on the carry, and he has the ball down to the 16-yard line, and that's enough for a first down.
So another first down for Lake Brantley. Second time they've been inside that 20-yard line. Wekiva defense about midway through the second quarter stiffened up and obviously did not give up any points as it's 28-0 lead. And now a pass, the third of the night, a screen, and straight down that sideline. Good call.
Screen
right
to Tristan Roth will move the chains again for the Patriots. He steps out of bounds short of the goal line, but it will bring up 1st and goal for Lake Brantley.
I believe the ball's at the 5-yard line?
I'm going to say 7, looking at the video here.
So that's a 9-yard gain, and this is the deepest penetration of the game for Lake Brantley as they remain in that same formation. Slashing ahead, gain a couple more yards. And so, guess that's at the 5 now?
Yeah, that's the 5-yard line.
Okay.
Takes the ball down to the 5-yard line, and that will now officially make it a first down, first and goal, Patriots from the Mustang 5. So yes, I misspoke earlier. That was not a first down in the previous play. It was second and 3, and then that now makes it
should be the last play of the third quarter. Escaping perilous, but he can't escape the second wave. And now a much greater distance. Third sack of the game.
Parker Perales on the carry. Xavier Stevens picks up the TFL, takes the ball back to the 9-yard line. And that'll bring up second and goal from the 9, and we have reached the end of the third quarter. 28-0 the score. Patriots knocking at the door, but the Mustangs with a 4-score lead going into the final 12 minutes. 28-0 your score here at Mustang Field. Can you confirm, are we doing band shows after the game? Do you know, are we doing band shows after the game?
I can find out.
I can't get anybody to answer the radio.
There was a, I don't know exactly, they said that one of the names was incorrect for Lake Brantley roster. Number 3, I think it is.
3? All right, it says Catano on the roster.
So, welcome back to Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium, home of the Wekiva Mustangs. They currently hold a 28-0 lead as Lake Brantley begins the fourth quarter with a second and goal at their 9-yard line following the sack. That'll take the ball down to the 4-yard line. Third and goal now. Lake Brantley trying to get onto the board. They come in 1 and 3, so definitely time is not their friend right now. As they hand off inside, pushes ahead, plows ahead, and nope, not into the end zone. Just one.
Alex Catano on the carry. And a gain of maybe 1. That puts the ball at about the 3, maybe 2-yard line. And it brings up fourth and goal for the Patriots. It is fourth down.
So Wekiva's defense last week gave up 7 points. They did not give up a touchdown against Ocoee in the second game. And certainly trying to do that for a third time. As Lake Brantley takes the snap, the inside handoff behind the right side, and this time the touchdown cuts the lead to 28-6. PAT pending.
Patriots get the last 2 yards into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown.
.10:37 remaining. Lake Brantley gets onto the board, the scoreboard. And they will also. Was that PAT good? Was the PAT good?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And so the PAT good. That makes it a 28-7 game. And again, even though they do give up that touchdown, the time, 10:37 remaining, is still the friend of Wekiva. Of course, we are live from Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium, home of the Wekiva Mustangs. And this is homecoming week tonight. At halftime, we announced that, being specifically my partner, Mark Barchi, announced the Princess, King, and Queen.
That was 3 Katana who went in for the score. That's what I had.
Okay.
So as Lake Brantley gets ready to kick off, if you joined us late, Wekiva with the 28-0 lead that was actually just cut down to 28-7. 10:32 remaining as Wekiva will take possession. And there you see exactly how the triple option is supposed to work. A very methodical, systematic drive, 65 yards. 15 plays, but now the problem is that took over 7 minutes off the clock, and you're already trailing by 4 points. And we're already into the fourth quarter as Lake Brantley with possession. Fourth pass of the game completed. And another first down.
Pass complete to bring up 1st and 10, just enough for the 10-yard gain.
So Lake Brantley looking to put together a couple possessions ending with touchdowns. Under pressure, perilous. It's the dynamic duo again. Edwards.
Pass broken out by Jaden Smith.
And Croyce Innocent along with Edwards putting pressure.
2nd and 10 coming up for the Patriots.
So back to work. Perilous, and now under heavy pressure, can't even get rid of the ball. And he was submerged the minute that ball was snapped. The defensive line pushing the offensive line back, and the clock continues to run. Eight-yard loss.
8-yard loss on the play. And that'll bring up 3rd and 18, and we have a Mustang slow to get up.
So Wekiva scoring its 4 touchdowns after unable to score, moving the ball into the inside Lake Brantley's 10-yard lines on the 2nd and 3rd possession. 7:19 remaining in the first quarter, a 72-yard interception return. .40 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Jabari Smith finding Jeremy Benjamin. That touchdown covering 60 yards. Third quarter, a fumble in between. Wekiva took advantage. Jamari Robinson going 46 yards on the ground and then gave 2. Again, the fumble was the kickoff in between the touchdowns. After the first touchdown, fumbled by Lake Brantley, Wekiva taking over and eventually scoring. So 4 touchdowns for Wekiva. That's how we got to 28-0. Lake Brantley cutting the lead to 28-7. And now pressure again. Edwards unable to wrap him up, but that slows him down enough, and his buddies finished the job. 2nd consecutive sack for the Wekiva defense. 5 in total now. As we are now under 9 minutes remaining. And that'll take the ball back to the Lake Brantley 41. A 17-yard loss, 25 in total on the last 2 plays. Sacks on both. And, you know, Sincere Edwards, of course, as you say, first among equals, the Pittsburgh commit, wasn't credited with the sack, but certainly there is no sack without his efforts.
4th and 34 coming up for the Patriots, and against a penalty marker deep
So the Patriots getting the extra offensive possession here on the successful onside kick, but they've gone nothing but backwards. It's almost as if Wekiva had the ball.
Yeah, and talked about
24 yards in the wrong direction. That's actually wouldn't be bad if Wekiva were on offense. So now we get the penalty marker on the play, and it is a dead ball foul.
Yeah, it's going to go against Wekiva.
Illegal substitution is called against the Mustangs.
So that will move the ball.
That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, a replay of 4th down.
Put the ball at the late Brantley 46. Still long way to go. And now disaster again. Nice job by Patriots to pick it up, but a long, long way to go. He goes out of bounds, I believe, at the Wekiva 48. And there's where you see those previous losses coming into play. So a number of fumbles tonight by Lake Brantley. Of course, as I just mentioned, the first touchdown scored by Wekiva, a pick 6. 72 yards. But then they've also had their troubles with the fumbles. I also mentioned that this third quarter began with Wekiva scoring a touchdown, 46 yards from Robinson, and then Lake Brantley fumbling the ensuing kickoff, and Wekiva taking advantage with that, eventually scoring 2 yards out, Anthony Gay. And so Wekiva going back to work now. And I think it's safe to say that you're now thinking about running out that clock, at least taking some time off. And that's Robinson.
Mustang carry by Anthony Gay. And he has the ball out into Patriot territory at the 41-yard line for a Mustang first down.
So, excuse me, it was Anthony Gay, the quarterback. If you joined us late, Tyree Davis, the starting senior, unable to go tonight. He's had an injury-plagued 3 weeks against the Coe, the second game of the season. He was injured on the first possession, and he's been in and out of the lineup since then. And another strong run on that right side, powering ahead.
Jamarian Robinson on the carry. The stop made by Trevon Laster of the Patriot defense. A pickup of 3 on the play. That takes the ball down to the 38-yard line and brings up 2nd and 7 for the Mustangs.
So also want to give credit and acknowledge the efforts of the broadcast production students here at Wekiva. They handle the video aspects of this broadcast. Obviously, you would not be able to see what's going on without their help, as the ball caught the high snap and now doing some nifty running. Unfortunately, he's going to actually gain about 3 yards. That was Gay.
Anthony Gay on the QB keep, handling the high snap and getting some positive yardage for it. He has the ball out to the 35-yard line for a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 4 for the Mustangs. So again, not necessarily a dazzling play, but probably better than what Wekiva deserved.
Yeah, it ended a lot better than it appeared to be when it started. And of course, mentioned the broadcast production students. They are under the direction of Mark Washington, as Wekiva goes back to work with 6 minutes remaining. And at this point, I think your biggest concern is running down the clock, although you don't want that fumble. And Gay eludes a couple of tackles, still on his feet, and makes it back to the original line of scrimmage. So now Wekiva's starting to have some troubles with their snaps. We've seen Lake Brantley do it a handful of times tonight.
The ball is initially fumbled, but it is recovered by Anthony Gay. It is a loss of 7 on the play, but Wekiva stays in control. They'll have 4th and 11 at their Patriots' 42-yard line. So again, Neil, it was bad, but it could have been worse. Wekiva will take this. They can punt the ball here. They can let the clock go down as far as it possibly can, punt the ball, put Lake Brantley deep in their own territory, and then count on the clock to be their friend. No team has used any timeouts in the second half, so Lake Brantley can stop the clock 3 times. Of course, there's no 2-minute warning in high school football.
Yeah, and again, I know Coach Schwartz, Coach Gay, have to be just terribly disappointed in the ending of that
This is not going to matter right here.
Terribly disappointed in the ending of that last possession with the bad snaps, the fumbles.
Penalty marker is on the play in the backfield, and I have a very strong suspicion this is going to be roughing the kicker.
But when you have a 28-7 lead midway through the fourth quarter, getting back to my original point, you can afford to have a couple of those bad plays.
Yes.
So you are correct, Mark, at least in terms of the penalty being against Lake Brantley. And there is the official call. It is roughing the punter, and that'll give Wekiva a first down. So now Wekiva could even possibly run out the clock with 4:54 remaining.
Roughing the kicker is called against the Patriots, and so we'll be doing that again. However, first we have the fourth quarter water break. 4 minutes, 54 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. For those of you here in the stadium as well as those of you listening online, we want to remind you that because the band did not get an opportunity to perform their halftime show at halftime, they will be performing it immediately after the conclusion of the game. So we do encourage you to stick around. This is the one time out of the year that we are not going to shoo you out the stadium immediately after the last play is snapped. So we do invite you to please stay and support the Wekiva band immediately after the fourth quarter. However, we do still want to make sure that if you are depending on a ride to get home from tonight's game, that you call them and let them know we are going to the last 5 minutes of the game, and then, of course, we'll have about a 7-minute halftime show, and at that point, we will be looking to clear the stadium and get everyone home. So we appreciate your cooperation with that.
So 4:54 remaining, Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium, home of the Wekiva Mustangs. They've enjoyed the lead for the majority of the game, never trailing, 28-7 now. As now it's time to run out that clock and get off the field without any injuries. The sweep. That's Phileas.
Tyree Phileas on the carry. And yeah, Neil, that roughing the kicker penalty was deadly for Lake Brantley. If they had any chance at all of keeping this close.
Whatever opportunity remained to win this game, that went by the wayside. Even if they do hold Wekiva off the scoreboard, and even if going one step further, they can prevent a first down, there's just not going to be any time left. There's going to be about a minute and a half. And this is Robinson going on that right side. And I'd be very, very surprised to see Gay attempt another pass now as we drop under 4 minutes when the next snap is taken. So the ball at the 20, I believe that's the 23-yard line.
I've got it as the 20, well, yeah, something like that. 22-ish.
Third down. Empty backfield. Haven't called actually, I don't think, well, this is Gay taking the ball. He sweeps around the left. He'll gain the first down. Still on his feet, continues to chug and churn ahead. And 3.5 minutes remaining. So as I was saying, will take the ball inside the 10-yard line to the 8. So a 14-yard gain for Anthony Gay, who has stepped in for Tyree Davis under center tonight. A very solid, methodical in terms of sticking to the game plan effort tonight. But I was going to say, I have not yet to call out the wide receiver set tonight because they haven't passed the ball with Davis out. I think they've thrown maybe 6 passes tonight. So again, as Gay hands it off on another sweep to Phileas, he stops, turns upfield,
Okay, on the previous play, Tyree Villius on this one. The Mustangs inside the 10-yard line now. Starting from the 9-yard line with first and goal, and Villius will get it up to, we'll call that the 8-yard line for a gain of 1. Second and goal from the 8.
So please remember, and we do want to thank you for joining us, and as Mark said a couple minutes ago, stick around. The Pride of Wekiva, the marching band, will perform their halftime show, but please remember that we do not have statisticians keeping those stats. So we can give you a general idea. Again, something like Wekiva's only thrown a handful of passes, but we can't give you an exact amount. And Gay's going to throw that ball out of bounds. That was a live to play another day pass.
Yeah, and actually that's really impressive that Wekiva did not either lose the ball or at least lose a ton of yards on that play. Great heads up.
Although I do see the refs are talking, and yeah, they are going to now call a
intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding. And that's not only a 15-yard penalty, but it's a loss of down. .158 remaining, homecoming night. And Wekiva 28-7 lead at this point. With possession of the ball, it's a matter of the formality of running out the clock. They'll be facing third and goal.
Loss of down penalty called against the Mustangs for intentional grounding, and that will put the ball back at the 27-yard line.
Another high snap, and here comes the rush again. And this time, that's actually Smith in quarterback. And he finds his receiver. Bennett snags it in. And the icing on the cake.
Jabari Smith to Jeremy Benjamin. Into the end zone for a Mustang touchdown.
27 yards.
Well, Neil, talk about making something out of nothing. Oh, no, never mind. Strike that. Holding, offense, 10 yards, no score.
Okay, well.
Well, it looked good. It was pretty.
It was. It certainly had entertainment value. Certainly worthy of a Sports Center top 10 if there was one dedicated to high school athletics.
And if there was one dedicated to plays that didn't actually count.
So I think if you're Coach Schwartz, and actually I'm looking at him right in front of us, he still has the headset. Now he's actually taking it off, hands it to Coach Pankey. You know, I think he's gone from the mindset of you begin Monday, practice on Monday, good game, everybody did their job, we played well for the most part, let's look forward, let's build on a 2-game winning streak to you guys got to finish the game better. That's a weak way to end the game now.
Yeah, it's still a coachable moment. Never mind that the outcome of the game is essentially determined at this point.
By the way, the ball back at the 38.
All right, so a screen is caught there by Joshua Bennett and not going anywhere this time. Screen complete to Joshua Bennett. And that will have no gain on the play. In fact, a loss of 1. And that'll bring up 4th and goal from the 39.
1:37 remaining, and obviously, like Brantley's going to get the ball back, but game has long since been determined, the outcome. With 1:37 remaining, like Brantley's certainly not going to be able to score 3 touchdowns. If you joined us late, scoring summary, 7:19 first quarter. A 72-yard interception, return a pick 6. Gave Wekiva a 7-0 lead. They have not trailed in the game. They have not relinquished the lead since that interception return. And that was Anthony Gay with the interception return, who's also played quarterback tonight, Tyree Davis's stead. 40 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Jabari Smith to Jeremy Benjamin. That was a 60-yard strike, and then a couple of rushing touchdowns to start the third quarter. 11:54, 46 yards from Robinson and Anthony Gay, 6:26 of the third quarter. Fourth down, Smith, and he's just going to heave it up on one last play. And there's the flag. That was obvious. You didn't need any referee training for that. Push in the back as the ball was coming down.
Pass falls incomplete. Pass interference is called against the Patriot defense. That is, in high school, a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and a replay of fourth down. So this is a place where you have a key difference between high school rules and NFL rules. If that were the NFL, the penalty would be assessed at the spot of the foul, which would be down there about the 5-yard line, and it would be an automatic first down. So Wekiva would have first and goal. They get a fresh set of downs. As it stands, in high school, a pass interference penalty is not an automatic first down. Instead, it is a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, and so it is also not an automatic first down.
Nonetheless, that does move the ball to the Lake Brantley 24, and that should bring this game to an end. Well, I guess that depends if Lake Brantley decides to use their timeouts, but 28-7, I don't foresee. So, and actually, excuse me, Mark, you are correct.
It's actually going to be Wekiva that uses the timeout here.
So it is fourth down. I just forgot that Wekiva had to get into the end zone.
Yes, it's been fourth and goal for a long time.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to what we said a couple minutes ago. If you're Coach Schwartz, you're obviously happy with the victory. You're happy with your performance. For up until about 4 minutes remaining in this game, but it certainly is a very weak way to end this game. They've had 3 fumbles. They've recovered all of them. They've been high snaps. They had an intentional grounding penalty, which was a result of one of those fumbles. It looked like they had scored a touchdown. A 27-yard strike to Jeremy Benjamin from Jabari Smith, and that was wiped off the board with a holding penalty. And we also invite you to stick around because, of course, this was homecoming night at Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium, so we did not have our traditional halftime show from the Pride of Wekiva, the marching band. They will do it after the game in the lob. Down by the end zone, caught by Smith from Gay.
Oh, he couldn't get there.
Down at the 1.
Pass is complete to Jabari Smith. He had it inside the 5-yard line, but his knee touched the ground, and that will down the ball. And again, this is a key difference in high school rules. The pass interference penalty did not cause an automatic first down. It remained fourth down. And also in high school, when your knee touches the ground, the play is immediately dead. You do not have to be touched by a member of the other team. And so it is down at the 2-yard line, and the ball is turned over on downs to the Patriots.
So that will certainly up the stats for Gay and Smith, who both of them have taken turns under center.
Yeah, both of those most recent 2 plays would have gone a lot better for Wekiva with NFL rules.
So, and now you're seeing, obviously it doesn't matter, but you're really seeing the disadvantage of the triple option. You can't even really throw the ball now, even though it's an obvious passing situation. And by the way, this is only the 6th possession of the second half combined. Lake Brantley chewing up about 7 minutes on their lone possession in which they scored.
Gain of 1 on the carry, 2nd and 9 from the 3.
So while we got the chance, want to once again acknowledge and give credit to the broadcasting production students here at Wekiva High School. They are now under the direction of Mark Washington.
And actually, Coach Washington, come over here for a second.
And of course
I'm going to put you on the headset here and let you acknowledge your team.
They handle the video aspects of this broadcast. So, Coach Washington, of course, this is your first year here.
Yes, sir.
And welcome aboard.
Pleasure to be here. So tonight we have Robert on camera one. He's serving as the executive producer, we could say. We have Jayla. Jayla's also the sister of Sincere Edwards, star here at Wekiva.
Number 0.
On another camera, we have Jalen. We have Vincent up top. We have so many guys, and we just went final, it looks like.
Okay. So once again, your
all right,
finals.
thank you, Coach Washington. That takes us to the end of the ball game. It is a 28-7 final score here at Mustang Field on homecoming night.
So your scoring summary, and please stick around because the Pride of Wekiva, the marching band, will perform in just a few minutes. Wekiva with some issues. They were unable to score on the second and third position despite moving the ball inside the 10-yard line, a missed field goal. But they come out a methodical, steady performance in terms of taking the lead and then adding to it. Anthony Gay, 72-yard, pick 6, 7:19 first quarter, 40 seconds before halftime. Jabari Smith to Jeremy Benjamin, 60 yards, and then they opened up the third quarter with 2 consecutive touchdowns. 11:54 Robinson on a 46-yard jaunt, and then Anthony Gay making it a 28-0 score at the time, a 2-yard plunge in between on the kickoff, a fumble. Wekiva takes advantage. And, of course, with the 28-0 lead, they were in a comfortable position throughout the game. Lake Brantley cutting the score down to 28-7 midway through. But I think the game pretty much, the outcome had been decided by then, just not enough time and too far behind.
So again, 28-7 the final score here on homecoming night. We invite you to stay with us for just a few more minutes as we will have the Mustang Marching Band taking the field in just a moment to treat you to that halftime show that they were not able to perform during halftime because of our homecoming festivities. And then we'll be on our way out and looking forward to week 6. We'll get you down to the field right now.
And also want to go ahead and send out best wishes, a speedy recovery to Gavin Gillens, excuse me. He's a member of the JROTC, a cadet who unfortunately collapsed during halftime as we were announcing our homecoming Prince, Princess, King, and Queen. He was conscious when they wheeled him off, so that certainly is a good sign. But once again, we do wish him the best of luck in a speedy recovery and hope to see him back in his cadet uniform and in class soon. And also, while we are waiting for the band to come out and begin, they're actually already set up. Want to point out, too, Wekiva now with the 3-2 record. Lake Brantley drops to 1-4, a very un-Lake Brantley-like record as they continue to struggle in this season. Wekiva also has won 2 consecutive games for the first time this season. And as we mentioned last week, a key game upping the record to 2-2. Just simply because 2-2 is much easier to get into the playoffs as opposed to 1-3. So, Mark, the floor is back to you.
And now we welcome to the field the Pride of Wekiva, your Mustang Marching Band, featuring the music of Michael Jackson.
Drum Majors, Mr. Dan Gray.
Once again, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, joining us in person here at Mustang Field, or joining us online at our YouTube or NFHS network channels at Wekiva Sports. Speaking of those channels, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. We are at Wekiva Sports on all 4 of those services, and make sure to bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. For those of you here in the stadium, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. For those of you watching us online, thanks again for tuning in. Again, our thanks to Coach Mark Washington and his entire team at Wekiva TV Broadcast Production. On behalf of Neil Fisher, this is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, wishing you a good night and a great weekend. This has been a presentation of Wekiva High School Athletics in association with Orange Technical College, both a proud part of Orange County Public Schools. Wekiva is on the road next week at Edgewater to face the Eagles September 29th. They'll be back here to face First Baptist Academy on October 6th at 7 p.m. That'll be our next football broadcast, and we hope to see you then. Until then, good night from South of Popka.